Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. And what a week it has been with the DNC and everything going on and 45 and it's just getting crazy and it's going to be up and down. So I made a video as usual. I made a video, didn't post it because I felt like I rambled on too much. So I'm hoping that I can say everything I said, but just not be so rambly, and I'm already rambling. But let's do this. Let's stay on topic. Let's find a topic. So the first topic would be that let's talk about the DNC because it was incredibly historical, beautiful, amazing. Never seen anything like it. Literally, I've never seen anything like it. And I've watched old videos of the '60s Woodstock. Woodstock. I would say that it's. See, that's the second time I've gotten the Woodstock vibe with this whole with Harris Waltz, but it's not that. It's the new Democratic Party energy that's coming in. And yes, Joe Biden led us to that. He's a huge part of it. We would not have this without President Joe Biden. We would have none of this without President Joe Biden. His calm demeanor, can call him slow or sleepy. I don't care. It doesn't matter. He's not. But he had the strength and the peace of mind and the agility of mind and composure and knowledge, work ethic and history, accrued experience of history of all his time working in the government to get us through one of the most frightening, chaotic periods in American history. I would say almost like having the Civil War or the Revolution. He led us through that and away from it, and now to where we are standing. It is not without him and the divine, because as I've always said, the divine had him step forward and protected him. I saw that they protected him. They kept telling me, he's protected, you guys are protected, it's okay, don't worry. Anyway, no. So the DNC, I had to work, but I watched, what was it, night one, parts of it, and then, and I don't want to see everything. I don't want to see everybody's speeches. I'm just, it's kind of whatever. I know I'm not the only one. I didn't sit and watch every single speech and every single word. Night two, I think I missed part of it because I was probably watching some movie with my kids. I don't know. But then when I did tune in, I was like, oh my God, there's a party. I'm missing the party. And when I watched the replay later, because I saw that, here's where I stepped in. I think I actually did get there on time. I just missed like the first half hour or something. But I saw Michelle Obama's speech and I saw Barack Obama's speech. It was amazing. The vibe of the counting of the delegates for each state was amazing. People dancing. And okay, so then the third night was when Tim Walz had his speech and his beautiful son, Gus, had his reaction, and that was amazing. I mean, each night was a level up of energy and of humanity, I feel. A level up, like going up an escalator and big giant leaps forward, upward, and seeing Gus Walz. Now, here's the thing. There was a huge debate about this the next day, and I talked about my experience with my daughter being neurodivergent and myself. I feel like I'm on the spectrum. Some people say that is not what Gus Walz has. I don't care. He doesn't have to have anything. He's allowed to express himself. That's the whole point. He's allowed to express himself. But I was talking about how my daughter, being the parent of a child who is neurodivergent, I can tell you that some parents would have said, sit down and be quiet. Don't do that. Don't show all that emotion. Don't get up and clap so exuberantly, and don't, because the parents are embarrassed. It's not that the kid's doing anything wrong. It's the parents are embarrassed because of their childhood experiences. So the way that they allowed Gus to express himself and move around the stage and clap and show and cry and show everything, those are parents who allow their child to be free in the most healthy, positive way. Though they're not shutting him up, they're not telling him to stand still, to sit down, don't embarrass your dad. See, that's how I grew up, and that was my past situation too. Don't embarrass your dad. Don't make your dad angry, or the mother. Don't embarrass me in front of my friends or the community. No, and I learned that with my daughter, and I'll tell you one experience. I remember I had a lot of stress taking her each year, starting school. I was like, oh no, is this teacher going to say put your daughter on medication, or you need to get her tested again because she's too hyper, or blah 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 blah. And my daughter stims and still stims. She stemmed and she still stemmed. Now she doesn't really do it socially, which I find interesting. I never told her not to, but I was worried she would be isolated and bullied for her showing stimming, which is like running around and kind of like flapping. She goes into another world when she's stimming, and stimulating is stimulating your mind to help it work better. Or you have a really great genius thoughts, like my daughter has genius thoughts, and she runs around and stims. Now it's great exercise. I should stim. We should all stim. And everybody has a tick. I don't know if you've ever seen a classroom of teenage boys or like been in church with a whole bunch of teenagers. Everybody stims. It's like, it is. It's a stimulation. It's a tick. It's a nerve as your body's growing, your mind's growing. And so anyway, one time I went to my daughter's, I think it was her 5th grade holiday, like Christmas party. And I go in there, and the first thing I see is my daughter crawling on the floor in the classroom going, meow, meow. And I thought I had that secondhand embarrassment. Oh my God. Does she do this all the time? Do the kids think she's weird? Blah, blah, blah. And then I stopped myself and I thought, is she hurting anyone? Is she hurting herself? Is she being threatening? Is it negative? No. She's happy. They're having fun. It's okay. My daughter loves cats, and she's always loved cats. And come to find out that because she's such a kind and funny person and very enthusiastic, positive person, pardon me, all the kids in her grade really loved and protected her. I was really happy to find that out. Well, anyway, yeah, and I remember standing there, I remember thinking, Julia doesn't, my daughter's name is Julia, she doesn't need to change. It's the world that needs to change. Now, that teacher did have me that year try to get her tested for ADHD because she was all worried that Julia would go into junior high, and one of her other teacher, counselor, said that, like the para was like, you should probably help her get on medication so that she has a better time in junior high. And I was like, yeah, I don't want her to be isolated, and junior high can be really rough. The hormones come in and kids get really competitive. Like girls can be really catty and competitive, and the boys can be rude because they're all, they're starting to want to date, and and you can get socially outcast if you have any sort of affliction. It's like Rudolph with the red nose. And so I did that. I had to go get her tested again for the 3rd time in her childhood. And this is a long story in it. I had to get her tested again and diagnosed is what it is. Huge paper with huge questionnaires, and this guy tested her and he said she had a processing disorder, and he recommended medication to help with her processing and ADHD. So I went back, and this is my ex and I were still together, and I don't have hard feelings about this, but whatever. I'm just telling my story. And so I knew he didn't ever want her to be on medication. I'd fought hard for her to never be on medication, but because of the teachers and everyone, I thought, well, maybe it's time that she could, to help her do well with her studies and help her in socially, be on a regulating, to help her not be so hyper and stim and all that stuff. So the first medication, it turned her into a zombie, and she would hyperfixate too much, and to the point where she would spend every hour of the day doing some sort of project, the obsessive project. And when her little brother got in the way accidentally, she screamed and then ended up knocking a cup of water on a laptop. Now, laptops can be replaced. Feelings can't. I felt bad for her little brother, but he's very forgiving. Anyway, okay, so I was like, you know what? I don't think that medication's right for Julia. As her mother, I'm going to ask and see if there's another one we can try for her pediatrician. So we go. But anyway, the next day, my ex, this is really one of the tipping points for me. the next day, before he left for work, he turned to me and he said, "How's that medication working for you?" Like that. And I thought, that's pretty awful to say that. I did not, because of the laptop, for God's sake. The laptop got water knocked over on it. An accident. But somehow it was all my fault because I was trying to be a good mom. So we went back to the doctor, got a different medication. Now that medication, I walked in the room one time, a few days later, and my daughter said, "I feel like I'm dropping into hell," and was crying her eyes out. And I said, "Okay, we're done with medication." This is not because of what her father said. I wasn't going to be bullied either, but I made the decision to let her be natural as possible. And I've always talked to my kids, always been their therapist if they needed, and I've also taken them to therapy. So anyway, that ended medication, and she actually did really good in junior high. And then in high school, she went to a special high school, not a public school, but a program called Geoscience, where it was like being in Harry Potter's Gryffindor or whatever, at Hogwarts. So long story short, some parents start medicating their kid as soon as they're able to pop a pill in their mouth and swallow it with water. In fact, there's a lot of, in our educational system, there's a lot of teachers who like to have medicated kids so that their classroom is nice and tidy and orderly. Now, Gus Waltz, long story short, Gus Waltz, I don't care if he has any disorder. I think that he had like a speech delay or something like Joe Biden. Like Joe Biden. There you go. There's a connection right there. But my thing is, as a parent, my journey was coming to that conclusion one day of, she's perfect. She doesn't need medication. She doesn't need to change. If it's Christmas time and she wants to crawl on the floor at the holiday party and meow, that's okay. Because I wouldn't change her. I remember feeling that strongly to myself. I wouldn't change a thing. Did I want my daughter to have a better life and to be well adjusted and liked and blah, blah, blah? Yes. But I also realized that what is perfect? What is normal? So Gus Waltz, I don't know what the history with their family is with Tim Waltz and his wife. But here's the thing. Gus Waltz is all of us. 45 has kept us in this imprisonment relationship, toxic, abusive, narcissistic abuse relationship, threatening to close us in with walls, threatening that if you left the country, you may not get back in, if you're a certain religion, certain ethnicities, to be banned and put in concentration camps. If you're Democrat, you're evil, put in a concentration camp, put in jail. If you're African American, it's okay for the cops to kill you and you can't protest, nobody can protest about it. Social justice and laws, rules, our vote, our very vote, women, their bodies, not being able to have their own body to live and thrive. Taking away all our rights, controlling everything about us, like an abusive, controlling parent. Gus Waltz is a great example of what we are heading toward, and that is freedom, expression, body autonomy, moving our arms, crying, moving around on stage, not being told to sit down, not be quiet. That's what he is a perfect example, and the new Democratic Party is a perfect example of freedom and free will, of self-regulating, of expressing. And I think that's beautiful, and that's the exact opposite of 45 and what he's done to us. And you could feel it. It's like bad relationship, good relationship, and we're choosing the good relationship. I have no doubt that Kamala is going to win, but I have no doubt that 45 is going to try to steal it and say it's all fake and blah, 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 blah. But she's going to win. And think about this. If she's the VP still right now, and will be before she gets signed in, she can certify or not certify whatever she wants to. And so 45 can do whatever 45, he can do whatever he wants. I almost call him 47, but he's not, and he never will be. See, the thing is, I don't think he was even 45. He was an intruder. He's not a real president. But anyway, for entertainment purposes only, she can certify or not certify. She'll have that power. Mike Johnson can't take that power from her. The Supreme Court cannot. I think September is going to be extremely volatile as far as 45 and his legal proceedings. I still don't think they're going to put him in jail, but you know what? The energy, as we've seen, timelines can change. Timelines can change. And Judge Merchan may just get so fed up that he just, because these people are getting swatted, they're getting death threats, family members' death. He may just wake up one day and say, you know what? F Merrick Garland and what he said. I'm going to put this MFer in jail for everything he's done, because anyone else would have been in jail already. I mean, I feel like right now, the way the energy stands, 45 will be sentenced in September, 18th, but not put in jail until after the election. What's he going to do then when he loses? Because he is going to lose. What's he going to do then? And last time he was like, well, you can't prosecute me because I'm running for, and he started running immediately for office, right? Well, he can't run again, can he? And I would think that if you lose 2 times, there should be a law that says you can't run anymore, because it's a waste of resources. And pardon me for saying this, what kind of fool runs for office again when they lost, when he lost in 2020? What possessed him to try to run? Well, he's running from prison. That's what he was doing. Anyway. So, RFK Jr. Okay, RFK Jr.'s voice drives me nuts. People complain about Joe Biden stuttering. I don't mind. It's like Jimmy Stewart from, It's a Wonderful Life and all that. I love Jimmy Stewart. And so I love Joe Biden. They're very similar. It's cute and it's sweet and his heart, he has a good heart. Now, RFK Jr., the guy who was holding a charred dog carcass and took a dead bear out of Central Park. I don't know any of brain worms, and just the things that he says and does are just plain crazy. Now, he says he's supporting now, he's behind 45, not as his, not in his party, and he may still be on ballots. I think he still could be on some state ballots is what he's saying, because he still needs that money to come in. And if 45 should drop out or go to prison, I guess we'd have to have RFK still in the contention. Here's the thing. He says that he called Kamala and that she never, because he was going to support her, right? And she never contacted. Well, there's a reason why she didn't contact him. And it's because she knows that he was never going to support her. I can tell you right now, 100%. He says he was going to support her and she rejected him. That's not true. She didn't want to waste her time. She knew that he was going to just play with her, find out some of her information, and take it back to 45. He was never going to, he was always going to give 45 his support. And the thing is, he's not really, because again, he's still going to be on some ballots. He's still hanging in there. He said it himself. Make no mistake, I'm not part of, I won't imitate him. I'm not part of 45's cabinet. I'm just giving my support, but I'm actually still on. I'm not ending my run. I'm just suspending it. See, he still thinks that he has a chance. He's still going to hang in there. Okay, that rally, and I talked about the AI video. So 45 is the one that said that Kamala can't possibly have all those crowds, not all those people are at her rally. It must be AI. Now, why does he say things like that? Because he's thought of doing it, because he's done it or thought of doing it. And so sure enough, we've seen his rallies lately. They're nothing compared to Kamala. They're small. They're little high school gymnasiums like prom, and barely filled up, empty seats and people leaving before the rally's over. So last night in Arizona, live feed, and it showed him on the camera with people behind him on stage, like he's had recently, people behind him. He has the same people he ships in from Craigslist. And then the large view, so there's like a split screen. There's a small one that's really happening, it's really him, and then the large view of the huge stadium filled with masses of people. And guess what? It's friggin' AI. Midas Touch is not picked up on it yet. I suppose they don't want to go there, but I instantly was like, he doesn't have those crowds. Oh, come on. And then I looked at it. I was like, wait, why are people disappearing? Why are people flying into the air? Why do those people that came out of the bathroom just disappear? Why do those people walking down the aisle all of a sudden just walk through other people? Why is there the guy in the white shirt duplicated everywhere? Why are there other people duplicated? Why, when the people stand up, why did they just stand up out of nowhere for no reason? Then they all, in little melded groups, all some computer AI crap, all start popping up and melding into, and I saw one person fly into the air and other people disappear, literally disappear. And then I noticed, that if you look at that large screen, the video, what's supposed to be the live feed, the people that are behind 45 aren't. There's no one on the stage behind him. So he's going to get caught. I don't know why nobody's picked up on this yet, and like Midas Touch, but somebody should, because that's very deceptive, and it just shows how weak he is in his mind, that he has to make up for his shortcomings with literal visual tricks and lies. And it makes you wonder, what else has he done? I've always felt he's had a body double. I felt that he's tried the hologram type technology. But I don't want to go into conspiracy theory. This is not a conspiracy theory. That video from Arizona last night, go check it out. Go look up 45 Arizona rally. I put the link on my community page. Watch it yourself. It is the fakest AI I've ever seen. Hands down, 100% it's AI. You can't convince me it's not. And again, look at him on the stage. It's this gray, it looks like a doll, like an animation. No one behind him. And then the people melding and fading and disappearing and literally walking through other people in the crowd. And then the way that they all stand up, it looks like a weird, crappy video game animation is what it looks like. I've watched a lot of video games with my kids. I know what it looks like, animation. So that's weird. And he's trying to get by with that. And it shows the emperor with no clothes. It shows just how insecure he is. And then they showed the picture of him yesterday where his makeup was on. So bad. Like maybe he's sick. Okay, I'm going to go into that real quick before I leave. This guy is not feeling well, but also narcissistic injury is happening. And when narcissists get hurt, they do feel sick. Literally, they feel sick. So he was outside the wall and they're doing the, cameras took pictures of him. He literally looks like a hot dog dropped in a pile of ashes. He's melting. He's charred. He don't look good. And why does he always have to wear the same big frumpy suit, like a cartoon character, like in Scooby-Doo, always the same damn outfit? And Giuliani too. I was at work the other night and I was thinking about that. It's like, without a suit on, Giuliani just looks like some old guy, frumpy guy, sweaty and old and frail, and 45 too. And I thought, one of their biggest tricks to look important and look like they have money and power is they throw on a suit. But these guys are just fooling everybody. And 45 doesn't even look like he presses his suit anymore. He just puts it on, same suit, same big old frumpy suit with a red tie and his shoes with the lifts, and puts on some paint and that hair, whatever he does to his hair, I don't know what the heck that is, and his whatever his mouthpiece is, because apparently he does wear a like a palette piece or something. He's falling apart. And I feel kind of sad for him. It's the sad display. But here's why he probably looked so rough yesterday. Because after the debate where no, not debate. It was like a debate because he was live chatting on Truth Social as Kamala had her beautiful speech. Well, he was going to, and the narcissist had to outspeak her and cover up every word she said, like when he followed Hillary around on the stage when they had their debate. It was like a debate. What he did is he gave Kamala all his talking points, and now she can study everything he wrote during her speech, and she'll have her answers ready to blast at him. So that was a taste of the first debate. I don't know if we'll really have the debate on September 10th. I know we all want to see it. Someone else was saying that she's probably going to be by herself. I said that that's probably what was going to happen with Joe Biden, and now I think it's actually going to end up happening with Kamala, that she's just going to have her own town hall. Now, I got to finish this. So, the reason why he looked so tired and sick was because he was up all night calling radio stations and Fox News because he has to erase what his victim says. Kamala, she's not his victim, but that's how he sees her. He has to erase and change the narrative and get his voice out to cover everything she said, her truths, her words, her work, her power, her influence, her positivity. All of it has to be, narcissists have to destroy it and then cover it up with their own. They have to steal it, take it, change it, until their victim shuts up. This is what narcissists do. So he was like frantically trying to call every week he could to get his voice out. This is what she's lying. Why does she have to say why does she have to say thank you so much? Because she's nice. And also because she's a strong woman who was being cheered at. And she was trying to get people to be quiet in a nice way, without yelling at them like a teacher. Everybody shut up. Thank you. People love her so much. She was literally using the nice teacher tactic to get everyone to sit down so she could start her speech. Anyway, he's jealous. And the narcissist in him is just dying, because he can't stop and control her and shut her up. And he knows he's losing this whole thing. So apparently he called Fox News a ton of times and they did not pick up the number. They ghosted him. That's not good, but why would they want to talk to crazy madman with an agenda and a diatribe and an epitaph, if you will, because he is losing this. And yeah, it's just a taste of what's going to come. I don't think he's going to look much better. I think by the time the debate comes, he's really, he'll do the same. If he shows up, he's going to be just like he was with President Biden. But Kamala's not President Biden. We can all see that. He's beautiful. He's a beautiful person, but he's had a rough year, and he's older, and he's had a lot of tragedy in his life, and he's been sick, and he's worked hard for us. We don't deserve President Biden. And to be honest, but we do deserve Kamala and Tim Walz. We deserve this new era. We've worked hard now. We've united, and we deserve President. I shouldn't say that. We do deserve President Biden, but he's too good for us. That's what I mean. He's so sweet. He's like an angel. He's too good for us. What I love about Kamala is she ain't gonna put up with no shit. She's not gonna put up with it. So and 45 knows this, so he could come with all his stuff he does, all the stuff he did to President Biden. I still feel there was AI. I still feel there was like some sort of psychic attack on President Biden. You know what? We're prepared now. So when we have this debate, with Kamala and 45 have their debate, let's all do our psychic return to sender and have it all go back. Let's all be prepared. Let's surround her with a white light of protection and return to sender to 45. Return to sender, because we're not fools anymore either. And, everything has changed. It's changed massively for the better. Now, they're still trying. Whatever these negative entities are, they're trying to bring us down. They tried yesterday. I felt it strongly. They tried to flip the timeline again. I felt it all day long. They were trying to flip the timeline. Nope, not working. As they say, we are not going back. I have some Yahoo up the street who put a sign on his fence. Big, it can never be just a yard sign, right? It's got to be some huge flag. And this is 45 Vance. Take America back. Back to where? Think about this. Doesn't it say in the Bible, it said, don't turn around, or you'll turn into dust. Wasn't that the thing with the Red Sea or whatever? You'll turn into dust. I feel like that. We can be nostalgic. I believe in time travel, meditative time travel. I believe in nostalgia, looking at the past. I believe in all that, as long as it's positive and beneficial. But if you're going to try to go back to the past so that you can harm other people and keep other people down and be racist and have slavery and have sexism and control women, and you know what? No, no, we're not going back. We're not de-evolving so that you can have your little crappy, horrible, abusive world. No, we're not doing that. We're moving forward. And you either come with us or stay there with each other and destroy each other, but you're not going to do that to us anymore. And I can tell you that just by seeing the DNC all week and then the rallies, the Harris Walz rallies, we outnumber. We outnumber. And when, if they ever, they're going to try to have another Jan 6, but we could have not like that, but the power of protests, peaceful protests to counter that, our numbers, and I think they know that. They know that. If you listen to the MAGA people online, they're really bitter because they know they're losing, and they're starting to say things that are like, I don't know why they like Kamala. Well, that's the problem, because if you don't know, then you haven't been in the group of people who have been threatened by your horrible terrorist organization called MAGA. Kamala represents us having stability and freedom and America back, happiness, joy, dancing, coming together. We don't all have to be one color, one ethnicity, one race, one sex. We're free. And when we're together, we're happy. We dance and we sing. And that's what we fought for. That's what we're fighting for. And that's why we're moving forward, and we're not going back to that. We're moving forward together because we're happier together. We like America the way it is. We like to have every ethnicity and religion and sex and gender and whatever. We like, because there's so many, I can't name them all. That's what we want. That's what America is. So you guys can all go back. Go ahead. We're moving forward together. We're happy. You can see it at the DNC, how happy we are moving forward together. We're getting out of that abusive relationship and we're moving forward. And I think I'm done because my voice is cracking. Thanks for listening, you guys. Have a great day. Bye.